So I'm in IBC 2025 in Amsterdam, and obviously we are at OWC, Other World Computing, and with Larry, the CEO and CEO and founder of OWC. Actually, the first time I heard about OWC is like 15 years ago, those RAM that guaranteed to work on the Mac.
Absolutely, and I want to say we've been doing storage since the early 90s, and as a company in storage, we actually one of the very first even hit. Back in the day when 500 megabytes was a lot, we were one of the very first companies at that capacity. We started doing FireWire in 2001, especially because creatives were having problems with the drives in the market not being consistent, and we were the first company to come out that actually shared what the spec of the drive was, the actual hard drive in the solution, and the chipset, so you knew what we were providing to you, and we showed real-world performance. And even where performance, where you could probably be okay with performance that's not way up to the sky, we find a lot of customers don't realize what they're missing, and then they find out what they're missing when they get one of our solutions. And we have some really exciting solutions at IBC, brand new this year, brand new shipping, and this is a wow. This is our 96 terabyte Thunderblade X12. The solution ships from 12 terabytes to 96 terabytes and provides data rates, sustained data rates through the entire array without any slowdown at pretty much the maximum speed that Thunderbolt 5 can do, over 6,000 megabytes a second. That translates into about 21 to 23, depending upon the system and the data, 21 to 23 terabytes of data written per hour to this product. Exceptionally fast if you have a need for high speed and high capacity. It's the first drive, it's the only drive of its kind, Thunderbolt 5 certified, and it will actually push Thunderbolt 5 on the data side to its maximum capabilities.
This has no cooling fan?
No fan at all.
No cooling fan. You can see that it's like a huge heat sink on it.
That's about right. This is designed, there's convection between the blades, which helps actually air naturally, without any, passively move through the blades, and the blades themselves, of course, dissipate very effectively. We try to avoid fans where we can, on the simple basis that is a point of failure. These drives, SSDs in particular, generate.
My own RAID, the fan got noisy and I have to order it, I have to change it myself. Annoying.
It's not good. And on an SSD array, SSDs can get really hot. And if you're depending on a fan to cool an SSD, if something goes wrong with that fan or some stuff gets into the intake, you sort of have dust build up.
And you have to open it up to clean it once in a while.
Right. Which is something usually you don't want to do with an SSD, but nonetheless, there's points of failure that we avoid in all of our external SSD solutions of this nature to make sure that, a fan is not going to fail and cause you to have a thermal throttle event or worse. This is a DIY solution. We want to move on to our Express 10280. This is something you can add your own drive to. We ship currently up to 8 terabytes in this solution. We have a 40 gigabit version for Thunderbolt 4 and USB 4, which goes up to about 36 to 3,800 megabytes a second. We just introduced this 10280, which uses USB USB 4 V2. This goes up to, kind of like our Thunderblade, it will go up to over 6,000 megs a second on the read. It'll support burst speeds of up to over 5,000 megabytes a second on the write. And the write is the same for, depending upon the drive, anywhere from 10 to 30% of that drive capacity will run at the high speed, which is more than enough, way beyond what's necessary for a 512, 256, 128, even a 1 or 2 terabyte ingest from a media card. But just like the Thunderblade, there is no fan. This is fanless. This is all designed to dissipate.
Really cool.
Yes, naturally, because once again, if you have a fan, one thing can get into the device, which can cause, less heat to be dissipated. And if that fan fails, you're at risk of thermal throttling or even damaging your SSD. There is no thermal throttling with this design.
So now it's running on this.
Now it's running on this guy.
When I arrived, this is running for I don't know how long already.
Well, all morning.
Are these available already?
These are shipping right now today. This product, the 10240 has been shipping we introduced it. It's an award-winning device that's been shipping for a bit over a year. The 80 gigabit version just began shipping just a few weeks ago, and the Thunderblade X12 began shipping earlier this year, and then just doubled to that 96 terabyte capacity just 10 days ago. So our 96 terabyte just began shipping right before IBC. So Everything that you see here is now, right now, available in shipping. No vaporware.
Actually, this is really cool. Actually faster than that I need. For example, I added 6K H265.
Yes.
So we have something that is more my level, or maybe for you as well, but something more affordable but still so cool.
Sure, absolutely, positively. Products like our Envoy Pro Mini, this goes up to 2 terabytes. It sustains data rates of over 800 megabytes a second, sustained end to end,
okay.
all the way through.
So it's not your normal thumb drive?
No, this is an actual SSD in this profile. This is not just a little thumb drive, a little flash drive. This is a full-fledged SSD with the same kind of technology that you put into a drive in this kind of solution or into one of our electrons. But it's in this really handy format which will work with USB-C or USB-A. So regardless of what you're going to and from, you can connect to either using either the USB-C or the integrated USB-A port that's right in the single device. And that crazy speed of up to, depending upon the drive, anywhere from a minimum of 800 megs a second up to over 1,000 megabytes a second, sustained. Yeah. So very, very fast. Another compact drive, USB-C, 10 gigabit, supports 1,000 to 1,200 megabytes a second, sustained, end to end. Very compact, very small, it's sturdy, not plastic. This is aluminum on the, on the outer, and it's a thick aluminum. You can see, it doesn't, it's not flimsy, for lack of a better term. It is very solid. We build these things, to be taken about, not
think this is great to connect to your camera to shoot directly into that as well.
Correct, you can connect this.
And it's so small, you can just mount it on your camera.
Yes, depending upon the camera, this drive is compatible. And then we have the Electron, which is really an exceptionally ideal solution for the camera because it's very, very rugged. This is something you can literally, and I don't mean this figuratively, you can literally run this over with a truck, run it over with a bus, and it is that rugged. It can handle that, and your drive inside is protected, and the unit is still functional. This is waterproof as well.
It's not like some other drive is you thought it's metal, but it's like really, really thin for cosmetic. It just looks good. But this is like really thick piece of solid metal.
This is solid. Once again, it's designed so there's no thermal throttling. It's extremely rugged. If this falls in the water, falls down a cliff, gets run over by a vehicle, falls out your window, falls out of your pack when you're biking down the street, and any of these different unlikely but could happen scenarios, this drive will protect your data and it keeps on ticking. And it's built for the real world, not just to look pretty, to actually get it done. And we don't put rugged in the name of our products. We don't have a rugged version because we built all these solutions to be rugged. Just like the Envoy Pro FX, which if you're looking for a little higher speed, this is for Thunderbolt. It also works with USB, it's backwards compatible with USB-C down to 5 gigabit. But all of these products, whether it's this guy or this guy, even these products are built to be very solid so that when you use them in the field, it's not something that's you're not going to accidentally cause damage to it.
So these two are kind of the same speed, but this. So so the thumb drive, lot as rugged, waterproof, faster, and then super fast.
Yes.
And super cool. Yeah, and also running all day long here.
Yeah, it'll be just fine. This is on Thunderbolt 4. That's the limit. That's as fast as you can get with USB 4 or Thunderbolt on a Thunderbolt 40 gigabit machine. So these products max the bus. And again, they don't break a sweat, and they don't burn you when they're running either. Yeah. So your drive is safe, and you're safe as well. And when you buy a solution with our drive in it, we're putting extremely fast drives that we guarantee the performance on. If you're building your own, just be aware of the drive you're buying. We always want you to buy our drive, but if you're going to put your own drive in there, the only thing I do suggest you avoid is QLC. QLC will disappoint you in terms of its performance and reliability long term in certain scenarios and certain load cases. So buy a quality SSD no matter what you do.
And then you have cards as well.
Yes,
CF card, CF Express card.
Yes, we have CF Express B, CF Express A, and also SD cards. All the cards we make are kind of in the upper band in terms of performance. The lowest speed card we make would be the V60 SD. But when we got into this space, we've been doing SD and CF Express cards now for about 3 years. It's an incredible amount of testing and QA that goes into every one of these solutions because we have to test, and we literally test. When you go to our site and look at our compatibility chart, if we say it's compatible, it's because we've actually tested it, and we haven't just tested it in one mode. We tested all the camera modes, but we did take it one step further. That issue that we learned about. I mean, a lot of if you're shooting a lot, at some point you might notice your camera you don't start to get the same frame rate. For those burst captures, suddenly you're not capturing as many frames, or you're shooting video and maybe you're having a problem in a certain mode. Production sites, production groups had a policy of just using like a CF Express B card for one single project. After the project was done, they put it on the shelf because they were experiencing issues where they continued to use the card. They may have, in the middle of a shoot, it might fail. That's very expensive compared to the cost of a card. I'm taking a long time, I know, to get to the real crux. When we brought our card line out, we also brought out a software solution called Energize. And this is something that should have been a standard in the industry when these cards first came out. Whether it's an SD or a CF Express card, in my opinion, what we're doing in Energize should be industry standard, should have been from the beginning. And what Energize lets you do, it allows you, and this is enabled on our cards. Other brand cards do not, most other brand cards do not have this enabled. We're the only company that provides this software for free. And what this software allows you to do is, number one, check the health of your card. So you always know it's healthy. And cars, by the way, they start to slow down or start to do some of those funny things after they've been used for a while. That's not typically because they're unhealthy. It's because their cache has become dirty. There's nothing in a camera or a USB reader that actually maintains the data structure of the card. So the more you use it, the more it becomes, well, inside it, the management becomes a little cluttered. Without our software, what our software lets you do is do a sanitize of your card, which takes less than 5 seconds, and it restores it to factory original condition and performance.
So it's, can't park there, mate. So it's better than just format it?
Oh, format doesn't do anything. All format does is remove your data. You can do a low-level format, which will do a lot of the work that Sanitize does, but that takes hours on the card.
And not every camera can do that.
Most cameras don't do low-level. You usually have to do that in the computer, and that wastes that actually does a lot of wear on the card. That wastes an entire write cycle, and it takes hours to do. Sanitize takes 3 to 5 seconds to do. It doesn't use any write cycles. It's actually been military tested because of its erase. It actually provides, in addition to providing the clearance of the cache and the factory reset, it's actually also a very secure erase, eliminating recovery. So don't do it until you've ingested off the card. And something that we just announced at IBC here at 2025 is our integration with Hedge, the software offshoot. So if you use offshoot in your workflow to bring your media into your computer, you actually now can run our Energize tool within the application. So as part of your workflow, you can complete your ingest and sanitize, health check. And there's one third thing that we do with Energize, we support firmware updates. So if a new camera comes out that requires some firmware change to a media card for compatibility, which is very, very normal today. New cameras, they may have a different mode that writes a little bit differently. There's a lot that goes on to support high-speed write on these cards. So if a new camera comes out that doesn't support an Atlas card today, and that also means, by the way, it doesn't support our competition's cards, we give you a free firmware update that enables that compatibility.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is OWC, and this may not be the usual brand that most photographers use, but maybe this is another choice. And leave a comment below if you have tried that, and what's your comment, what's your experience with that. CF Express, SD card, really cool SSD drive. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I will say out there, the folks that use our product, don't use anything else. And it's all about making sure that more people know about our solutions, because once you try OWC, you're going to find that we have products that just work, and you won't go back.
Okay.